So, earlier this year, I got these Austrian Audio HI-X60 headphones, and I want to talk about them, because you might be able to tell from the paint worn off the metal and the sad squished cushions that aren't really terribly square anymore. I've been wearing these a lot. I really like these, and I think this company probably deserves more acclaim than they've got right now. They're pretty new, I guess. They started in 2017, so, that does explain it a bit. I have a feeling we're going to see more from them soon. But anyway, what I like about them is they're exceptionally clear. They do so much treble clarity and responsiveness and all that sort of thing. They have wonderful soundstage. These are closed back. They really do not sound like it. They sound like they have that openness going on, making the treble more efficient and everything. But on the other end of the scale, they have, like, really, really good sub bass, which is, to me, very, very strange, because, like, they got a lot of treble, they got nice flat mids, they don't really have a lot of bass, and then just you get down to the frequencies where you just feel it tapping on the side of your head, and just, woo, it does really well at that. I'm not entirely sure how. I do intend to do a video at some point, if I have equipment, where I will take these things apart, because they are, as per the normal for this kind of price range, they are disassemblable if you are technically skilled. This little piece here is a separate piece from this, and it peels off, which is annoying, but a new set of cushions does contain these parts here as well as the rest of the things, so it is possible to replace them. And just behind them there are, I believe, 4 screws to get in there. I have seen a picture on the internet I can't find again where somebody had a lower model in this range that they took apart, and there's like all sorts of weird ducting behind these. I say they don't sound like closed backs, and that's because they may not be. There's sort of little apertures behind these short sections here that appear in that picture I can't find anymore to link up to the ducting over the back of the drivers. These don't let in very much noise. They are actually the most isolating I have. So, I mean, it works whatever they're doing. I don't know what kind of baffling they have going on inside that ductwork where it lets the drivers breathe but doesn't let in a bunch of noise. But it seems to do okay at that. They're built very strangely. Like, okay, all metal, whatever. They've got, the drivers here are actually sort of angled a little bit into your ear, which is interesting at this price point. Like, if it was like $1,000, I could see that, but these were like $400 or something like that. I mean, that's pretty interesting at this price range. Let's see, what else? I guess it's worthwhile to just mention Austrian Audio in general, because that explains some of the weirdness, I assume. Basically, AKG, this enormous giant manufacturer of this kind of thing and microphones and whatever else, they had their parent company get bought out by Samsung in like 2016, I think. And Samsung just sort of gutted the entire company down almost completely. They fired everybody that worked there. They moved the headquarters to California instead of Austria, because, same thing, right? So then in Vienna, there's a bunch of people who've been working on audio equipment their whole lives, and then there's like a bunch of, like, the equipment to build headphones for sale on the market there, because Samsung just wanted to liquidate it. So the inevitable happened. A bunch of people that were fired by AKG bought like all the equipment they could get a hold of for AKG and started Austrian Audio. I didn't initially want to mention it because I don't think like the tuning has anything in common with anything made by AKG. They're not like reissues or anything like that. It's its own weird separate nonsense. But it's, to me, an interesting sort of angle where you have basically the staff of a giant multi-million-dollar corporation that were suddenly forced to act like a little tiny boutique manufacturer. So yeah, like, these were just made by people, but they have, like, the coils and the drivers are made out of, like, aluminum clad with copper. As I mentioned, the drivers are sort of angled in an interesting way that you usually see on higher end stuff. Whatever's going on with whatever weird ducting may or may not be in here, I don't know. I have not taken these apart, and I will someday, I promise. But they're just very interesting little machines.